Does it feel like most healthy snacks just taste so bland? Well, I think I may have found the perfect healthy snack. Washington red raspberries. They're a clean, simple, and seriously delicious way to add more nutrients to your day. So get this, they're American grown, picked at peak ripeness, and frozen within hours to lock in nutrients like fiber, antioxidants, and vitamin C. And I love to toss them in a smoothie or yogurt for breakfast or eat them as a healthy treat throughout the day. Grown with care by American farmers in Washington state, frozen Washington red raspberries are one of the best kept secrets in the freezer aisle. Make sure to always check the label for American grown frozen raspberries. Want to discover new ways to use American frozen red raspberries and get more details on where you can grab a bag of these delicious berries? Go to redraz.org. That's redrazz.org. You'll find recipes, healthy tips, retail locations, and everything you need to make frozen Washington red raspberries a regular part of your routine.
Do you find that you sleep better when it's a bit cooler? I certainly do, and as the weather is getting warmer, this is top of mind because I run hot, especially when I sleep. So hot sleepers, listen up, this one is for you. You probably know Avocado Green Mattress for their certified organic mattresses, but did you know they also make unbelievably breathable, natural bedding? Avocado sheets and duvet inserts help regulate temperature so you sleep cool, dry, and comfortable all night long. And that's because organic sleeps cooler than cheaper synthetic alternatives. Their products definitely keep me cool, comfy, and sleeping soundly all night long. Now is the perfect time to refresh your bedroom as we head into summer. And not to mention, there is easy financing options with Affirm to make your purchase more accessible. Head to avocadomattress.com today to save 10% on all bedding and 50% on clearance bedding. Avocado, dream better.
Hi, I'm Yue Xu.
And I'm Julie Kraftchick.
We're active daters turned dating insiders.
Here to dive into everything modern dating and relationships.
Welcome to DATEABLE. Hello, friends.
Welcome back to another episode of DATEABLE.
It is a duo episode, just the two of us.
Oh my God.
I won't sing the song. I'm not going to sing the song.
I know. I was like, we can't sing it.
I changed the tune. I remixed it.
I like your version better.
Just the two of us. Yeah, I'm remixing. I've been singing a lot in recent episodes. I need to stop.
You have been. So we're actually like picking some songs we're going to have a guitarist for the ceremony. Mm-hmm. And just the two of us is on there as an option. We will not be selecting it. Don't worry.
Why not? That's a great UA karaoke song.
UA gets up and he's like, just the two of us, Julie and me.
Not the three of us.
We'll let you sing that later. That one is not making the cut.
When your parents are off to bed, we'll do an after dark.
Oh, God.
After dark ceremony where all the things that Julie told she didn't want her at her wedding, we're going to bring out. Like your best friend rapping, me sing karaoke, just the two of us.
We're making paper airplanes.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. But we are, this episode, just the two of us. We're doing another duo episode. We love these because we get to go deep into some of the topics that we scratched the surface on in previous episodes.
Yeah, and the one that we want to really dive into today is this concept of not wasting time. Mm-hmm. We hear this all the time, right? From people. Mm-hmm. I don't want to waste time in dating.
Yeah.
And sometimes we mix up what is actually beneficial use of time versus not. And sometimes we think we're saving a lot of time by getting rid of people quickly or discovering all the red flags or scrutinizing someone's profile. Like we have these certain things that we're like, this will help me fast track to the end. But what we've learned over time through the podcast, through talking to thousands of daters and our own experiences, sometimes the things that we think are actually like
time wasters.
Yeah, some of the things that we think are time wasters really aren't. And then there's other things that move the needle in dating that we tend to ignore and forget about.
Move the needle is the key. And that's the question we ask in everything that we do, not just in dating, in our relationships, but on our podcast too, the way Julie and I work, is this is the unlock for productivity. Is it moving the needle? Is it helping me get closer to my goals? Is it propelling me forward, even one baby step at a time? Or is it keeping me stuck in rumination?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good parallel to us as small business owners and content
Founders.
creators. Yeah, but there's so much noise out there. There's so many
Yeah.
things that you're supposed to do. Like when Yue and I went to Podcast Movement, I swear I wanted to like lose my mind after that because
Hmm.
we walked out with this laundry list of all these things that we should be doing differently. And the reality is a lot of them actually aren't going to move the needle. And we
Yep.
tested some of them and we're just like, wow, this is not doing anything at all. Again, not to say you shouldn't test and learn, but I think ultimately there was this question of like, are we just spinning our wheels? Are we actually doing things
Yes.
to progress, our mission and our content and all the stuff that we want to get out into this world further? Or are we just like doing things to do things?
Yeah, it feels like a lot of dating is incubating ideas, but then not putting ourselves out there. And if you don't put yourself out there in dating, then you're not relating, you're not getting into relationships with people. And all it is just incubated ideas. And even after a podcast movement, we were thinking about there's like all these tips around how to do YouTube, with the thumbnails and then the way titles work and how you should do your hook. And I mean, the laundry list is so long, but then we've also heard the anti advice, which is like,
Yes.
get your content out there. Whatever your idea is, get it out there first and then iterate based on what you already put out there in the world. And it's like, same thing with dating apps. Right. I have a friend right now who is like, I'm ready to date again. I'm ready to get back in the apps, but I'm waiting for new pictures. I'm waiting for my friend to
Mm,
have time so she can take new pictures for me. Like, but you have pictures. Just get it
right.
out there. If you're ready
Can
now,
always update them. Yeah.
you can always update them, but you are actually wasting time between now and waiting for the new pictures. And what are the new pictures really going to do? Is it really going to move the
Right.
needle?
Right. And I think the other piece too is with all of the stuff that we're told we're supposed to do, there's a lot of like shoulds. Like these are the way you date. And especially now with everything so public, with everyone like spewing out dating advice that really has
Yeah.
like no background whatsoever. I'm on TikTok and I'm just like, wow, like what is this person saying? And what is
Yes.
their basis for this? They had one experience for themselves that worked this way. And some of it's like very hard, fast rules, which is something you and I have tried to stay away from because we
Hmm.
don't believe in that. And like, even if it worked for one person, doesn't mean that it's going to work for another. And I
Hmm.
think like when we're so afraid to waste time, we sometimes want to cling on to these rules and this roadmap essentially, because we're
Yeah.
like, oh, well, if we follow the roadmap, then we'll get to our desired outcome. But what works for one doesn't work for all. And that's when I think you end up being inauthentic. Like the example you were just giving about content, about being like, oh, these are the hooks I need to use. I feel like sometimes when we do that, I'm just like, I don't feel like this is us. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
we're just like spewing back something we've been told to do because that's what gets views. And it's like, is that actually what you want to be putting out there? You want to date in a way that's authentic and that you're not like wasting time trying not to waste time.
If we all just copied each other on dating apps because there was this proven formula, then how would anybody ever stand out? It's the same
It's
poses,
what
the same
happens
smile,
now.
it's the same answers. Everything's so cookie cutter because some dating coach out there was like, here's a formula for the best dating profile. We've reviewed thousands of profiles. We've never given the same advice to more than 2 profiles because everyone's so different. The way you want to present yourself should be based on who you are, not based on what some formula is. And I really believe that when I was dating, I spent way too much time thinking about my profile than
Yeah.
the quality of conversations I was having with people.
I think a lot of people fall into that. So, anyways, in this episode, we want to kind of go through some of the areas that we think are the biggest time wasters And then how do we do things that are actually going to move the needle instead? And when we were working on our book, How to Be Dateable, one of the things that we were thinking about with this book, we were like, okay, what is the main thing we want to get across to people? And one piece of it was that how do we date in a way that like moves the needle, that gets you the results you want, that feels like you're making progress? Because I think that's what's so difficult about dating, when it feels like you're just like spinning your wheels and doing all the things, but nothing is happening. I know even like professionally when that happens, that like makes me want to give up and not want to do it anymore. And that's what we don't want for anyone. We want people to not feel like they want to give up. We want people to feel like they're not making dating a second job, that they're not spending all this effort and time and doing all the things to have nothing to show for it. We want to help people ultimately like maximize what they get out of dating and feel like they have time for other things in life, because dating shouldn't be your whole life.
The wild thing with time is that it's just such a concept that's hard to grasp. When you hate doing something, it feels like you're wasting the time.
Yes.
But when you're really enjoying doing something, the time goes by so fast and you almost like want that time back. We get caught in this exhaustion of feeling like we're wasting all this time, this dragging of time, because we're doing something that we're not enjoying. So we're going to flip that. We're going to flip that so that you have a framework around what you can do more of that you enjoy, so that time feels like it's just flying by and it feels good, like time well spent, versus being dragged down by the time wasted.
Yeah, we actually have this part in our book that was part of a conversation that we had with Nikki Novo, who has been a return guest over and over again. But we did this episode with her about intuition and, you know, following that intuition. And one of the things that we talked about was this feeling of wasting time. And this is in the book too, in our Expectation of Love on Demand chapter. And she really turned it to, instead of looking at time, looking at energy. And like, do you feel drained or do you feel energized? Because to the point that you were just making, Yue, of like, yeah, like if you're doing stuff that sucks the energy out of you, it's going to feel like a lot of time. And it's not all like equated equally. Like sometimes like you feel like you're not wasting time, but you actually are. And because the energy is so like drained.
And with everything, anything and everything, there is a point of diminishing returns. You can truly feel like you're enjoying someone's company, or you really like doing this one activity. And then there comes a point where that feels draining. I feel this way about online shopping. I will confess, I love online shopping. For the first 20 minutes, I absolutely love it. It is such a great use of my time. I am enjoying every moment of it. After 20 minutes, it becomes an energy drain. I get frustrated with myself because I can't make any decisions. And then I look back and go, oh my God, I just spent an hour looking at dresses that I don't need. What was I doing? Then I get really guilty. Then I feel like, oh, I just wasted that time. So we are hoping to get you to the point where you are still on the high of feeling like you're getting energized from this activity, so you don't get to the point of like diminishing returns.
Yeah. And we actually talk about this too in the book, in our Investing Appropriately chapter, about your energy levels like a battery. So if you haven't gotten the book yet, please go out and get it. It will be so helpful, because really that is the core of it, is we want to help people feel like they're getting results in dating and not just spinning their wheels. So howtobedateable.com, go pick it up today or listen on audiobook. And before we get into it, let's just take a minute to hear from our sponsors.
Once the weather started getting warmer, I realized I was back in the same worn-out rotation. Same tank, same shorts, same everything. So I gave my daily uniform an upgrade with Quince. Their pieces are easy, elevated, and somehow make me feel more put together without even trying. Like 100% European linen shorts and dresses from $30, Luxe swimwear, Italian leather platform sandals, and so much more. Now, my favorite summer item has been the super soft bike shorts that are so perfect for everyday wear and has the quality of high-end athleisure brands. But by cutting out the middlemen, Quince gives you luxury without the markup. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes. Treat your closet to a little summer glow up with Quince. Go to quince.com/dateable for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/DATEABLE to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/dateable.
So I've been hearing about Skims for a while now, but I never really understood the hype. But let me tell you, it is legit. I don't think I'll ever wear another brand of underwear again, I swear. That's how obsessed I am. I love both the boy shorts and the racerback scoop bralette. They feel like no other underwear I've ever worn before. Literally, it feels like you aren't even wearing underwear because the fabric melts on your skin. Yet it still has the support I need, which is seriously just blows my mind in the best way possible. I don't know what they put into this fabric, but it feels like pure bliss. And I will be 100% getting all my wedding garments from Skims because I can't go back at this point. Hopefully you all could experience this level of comfort too. Shop Skims Fits Everyday Collection and more at skims.com. After you place your order, be sure to let them know I sent you. Select podcast in the survey and be sure to select Dateable in the drop-down menu that follows. Okay, so what are some of the areas that we feel like actually are quite a time block that people could do things differently or we've seen for ourselves of like, I wish I just did not spend the time doing certain things?
Should we tackle the beast? Should we talk about dating apps? Because I think that's
Let's go there
top of
first.
mind
Yeah,
for
let's go there
everybody.
first. Sure.
The complaint we hear every day, all day, every day. Dating apps are such a waste of time. These conversations go nowhere. I'm swiping all these profiles. I get no matches. And then when I do get a match and the conversation does go somewhere, there's such a low chance of this turning into something romantic. Get it? Okay. So then the question is, why am I wasting all this time on dating apps in the first place? We get it. If that's how you view dating apps, that's exactly the result you're going to get. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So if you, before you even start swiping on people, you're already going, oh, this is not going to work for me anyway. It's a waste of time. Yep, you're going to see people who are going to be a waste of time. So first and foremost with everything is the mindset, the energy you bring into the activity that you're doing. But also with dating apps, there are so many aspects of your interaction with the dating apps that are wasting your time, and you can shift that energy elsewhere. One is looking at profiles and spending way too much time analyzing profiles.
Yes, every last thing someone's saying, or how many times have you gotten a picture of some rando person from a friend? They're like, do you think this person looks different in this picture versus this picture? If they weren't wearing a hat, would they be cute? And it's like, we don't know. We've never met this person either, and neither have you. And sometimes I'll get this from a friend, or maybe I've been guilty of this in the past as well, probably. And it turns out like we don't even have plans to meet up, or like maybe if there was a plan, we go on a date and then we just don't even vibe like personality wise at all either. I just feel like we're putting so much upfront on making sure we don't waste time going on the dates with the wrong people, but we're focused on the stuff that we just like simply can't know and honestly doesn't even matter until we get there anyways.
So you've heard us with the house party theory. Swipe through and just go in with the mindset of who would I invite to my house party? That's it. This is not your future husband or wife. This is not someone that you're going to fall madly in love with. It's just who seems cool enough for me to invite to my party. And that's it. Probably like 30 seconds max on each profile.
We hear people say, well, that could be a lot of people. And it could be. And we're not saying that you let even if they're going to be going to your house party, it doesn't mean that like you need to talk to each person at the house party either. So I think really the filtering through the conversation, and you know, we hear people say too of like back in COVID times, we used to do a phone screen or a video call. I feel like we should bring that back. Like any extra way to interact with someone that's not just reading or looking at like how someone might be presenting themselves online or trying to like read between the lines on things and just hearing from the horse's mouth, like what it's like to like interact with this person, that gives so much more intel if this person could be worth the time to go on a date with.
This is something we start implementing with our podcast to vet our guests.
Yeah.
Because someone could present so differently online and you don't know till you get on a call with them. And it's not so much like, oh, are they going to be a great speaker? Of course we want that. But sometimes the energy could just be off. They could be an awesome speaker, awesome expert. They could be a great guest, but it is just no chemistry between the three of us. And then we can't, right? It's our house, which is our podcast. We wouldn't want that person at our house party because we just don't jive that way.
Yeah, and it's not saying like in a dating context, you need to get on the phone or a video and be like, oh my God, I have the best chemistry ever with this
Yeah.
person. But if you can't hold a conversation with them or
Right.
the thought of meeting up with them after that conversation isn't exciting, then that's a sign not to go and to keep vetting other people. Because the reality too with, I think, time wasted is that it feels like time wasted or burnout when you're just like doing things repeatedly. So really going on
Mhm.
like less dates, but better dates sometimes actually ends up being more beneficial.
It's pretty clear here if you're looking at two buckets. If you're texting, messaging back and forth, going nowhere, that's in the bucket of this is not giving you any more information about this person for you to act on anything. The other bucket is getting on a call. That gives you information that will help you take action. Yes, you want to see this person, or no, you don't want to see this person. If you fall in the bucket to the left, that in my imagination is to the left, that this is not getting you anywhere for you to make a decision, quickly get out. You
Yeah.
think you are spending time getting to know someone through messaging when you're getting no new information, that's time wasted.
That's a good gut check. Am I getting answers? Am I getting info? And I think it goes even beyond dating apps and, interactions in that capacity. But even as you start dating someone, I think especially with text messaging, we're afraid to reach
Yeah.
out. We're afraid to ask or even defining the relationship. There's so many examples of this. Like we're just waiting passively and we don't want to make that move because we don't want to be the first one to show our cards. We're playing relationship chicken for anyone that's read the book. And really the counter there though is how do we take action in a way that gives us answers? Like I'll still think about that book event that we did in San Francisco at Neon, our launch
Mhm.
event. We invited, people to come up and share some of their dating conundrums. We had a lovely girl come up and share hers. And a lot of it was like, did we go on an actual date? Like, do they like me? They leaned in for a kiss, but now they haven't followed up. And I don't know. And it was a lot of speculation. And we're
Mhm.
like, think about all the time that's been spent thinking about this person. That to me is
Mhm.
time wasted. We encouraged her to just reach out. Reach out, get the answer, see if this person wants to go on a date because we don't know if he does or not. There's no way for any of us to know that except for him. I would rather get the answer that they are not interested or they are not ready for a committed partnership than to just spend all this time speculating. And I mean, if I get back all the hours I've spent
Yeah.
speculating, talking to my friends, talking to, I don't know, writing on like forums on the internet, like there's so it's like at the end of the day, the only person that has the answer is the person in question.
The amount of times people spend on Reddit asking about
Yeah.
their dating questions with all these strangers who are absolutely not qualified to give any sort of dating advice, just chiming in left and right. It is wild because come on, you rather talk to a stranger you've never met who is somewhere on the internet than the person that you've actually spent time with. That is so insane to me.
I think Reddit is the wildest because
It's
you
the
don't even
wildest.
know who these people are at all. Like they could
No,
have completely different ways and approaches and belief systems than you, yet you're like, oh, this person said to leave them. Great, I'm going to do that. It's like, what?
absolutely. Absolutely. Everybody do this thought experiment. Think about the craziest person you know, like the most insane person you know that you would never take any advice from. Okay. You have that person in mind. Now put them on Reddit
Right.
and then
Find a
have
screen
them
name. Yeah.
find a screen name and then have them answer every question on Reddit. Oh, what does this mole look like? Does this person like me back? What should I have for dinner? Have the craziest, most insane person in your life answer all these questions. That's how Reddit works.
Did you say what does this mole looks like?
Yeah,
Like,
people on Reddit all the time. Like, what is this mole, guys?
oh my God.
Is this cancer?
Go to a doctor.
And then it's like you can ask a question, sure, that's already weird, but then there's like thousands
People.
of replies of people who are not doctors or have any medical background being like, huh, that's a little darker than what I've seen in the past.
I mean, I love our Facebook group, so I'm not saying this to like, dim on that, but I still remember that time where
Oh,
someone
yeah.
put up this question of like, I was talking to this person on a dating app and in their profile it said, I don't like to take life too seriously. What does that mean? And we got
Yeah.
like hundreds of answers of people being like, they're just fucking around. They're not
Yep.
serious. They're, I don't know, lazy, like all these different things and so many different parts. And this one girl in our group, she was like, oh, I put that on and I'm none of these things. Like, I'm
Yeah.
just saying that, like, I didn't realize it was interpreted this way at all. Like, I'm looking for a serious relationship. I just like feel like I'm laid back and like to take life as it comes. And it was so much like people inferring what they perceived
Yeah.
onto this statement. And I'm just like, what a waste of time that was. Instead of asking the person, that's a perfect opening line of, hey, see, this is in your profile. What does that mean to you? You get your answer.
That's also a great framework when you go analyze these dating profiles.
Yes.
Instead of
Just ask
analyzing
them.
it in silo or with your friends, if there's something that's intriguing to you or confusing to you or you have a question about, ask that person. What a great opportunity to open up the conversation. Or you're all like, oh, what's a great opening line? Stop thinking about the opening
Yeah.
line. Just find something you're curious about in the profile. Hey, you said you don't take life too seriously. What do you mean by that? Because I'm an Aquarius. I interpret that as someone who is just goes with the flow. Is that how you view life as well? Wow.
Right.
That you're going to get an answer, aren't you?
So this might sound like, I don't know, not a popular opinion, but I feel like almost 99% of what we talk about with our friends in terms of dating is actually a waste of time. Because a lot of
Mm.
time it's about other people, it's about understanding situations instead
Yes.
of, again, getting to the root. I think the only times, really, actually, this was a game changer for me. I stopped talking about dating with my friends by
Same.
the end.
Yep.
And I had one friend, one of my best friends, like we were both single and we would say things to each other of just like what a catch the other person was and like prop each other up. I think that's a good use of time to be like,
Yes.
remind each other what we bring, but to like sit there and analyze people's profiles or situations where the other person's not even in it. It's just like bringing bad energy. And I feel like getting rid of all that was just, it like freed me.
And it's boring as a
It's so
friend.
boring.
Oh, oh
I'd
my God.
rather, like, for my friends as the recipient and then also for me as like the person that goes to my friend, save
Mhm.
it for when you need it. Like, save it for the big stuff or like the
Yeah.
things that you're like, I really need a shoulder to cry on or someone to support me. But every little interaction that ultimately you can find out way easier that by just talking to the person, I
Yeah.
think that is the way to go.
Yes. Yeah, stop wasting your friend's time. You
Yeah.
can, you can waste your own time. That's your prerogative, but don't waste your friend's time. Their time is precious.
In our book, too, in our Investing Appropriately chapter, which honestly I think is one of the core chapters of just like,
Yeah.
how do I change how I'm spending my time? We even talk about this, like what's giving you the best ROI, return on investment.
Yeah.
But there's a part at the beginning about like being the CEO of your love life. And, a lot of us are really successful in our jobs, whether we're the CEO or we're, in a leadership position or even just like doing like boss stuff in whatever field we're in. Yet in dating, we're the intern. We're sitting there passively waiting for our
Mhm.
assignments. And if someone isn't showing up well, we keep them around. We keep
Mhm.
just questioning and waiting and wondering. But the CEO would never do that. Like someone that's like has shit to do, has a list of things they need to get done and has a busy life. They're not sitting and waiting. They're getting answers so they can move forward.
Yeah.
And sometimes the answer isn't the answer we want to hear. Like even when we think about like, startups, a lot of times there's this fail fast mentality of like, it's better to get something out, test it, learn if it worked or not, than to spend years and years or months and months building something that's not going to work out. So it's the same with dating. Like, how do we just get to the answer faster instead of spending months dwelling on a situation that might not even be like what we even ultimately want.
And in that CEO example, the reason why CEOs act fast is because there's financial consequences tied to
Yeah.
their time. They know what they're worth hourly, they know what their company is worth on an hourly basis, and they know when they're losing money or investing money for it to grow. But we don't place that value on our time when it comes to dating. Somehow our time is free with
Yeah.
dating. And I don't like to make dating transactional, but I do like to put this thought exercise in all of your heads is what is your hourly rate? If you were to go
Yeah.
out there and consult in whatever expertise that you're in, what is the highest hourly rate you can get? And then apply to that to how much it would cost for you to analyze these dating profiles or these interactions or ruminate on these text conversations that go nowhere. It probably would cost you thousands of dollars. It certainly cost me thousands of dollars. And if you thought about this and placed this monetary value on your time in dating, you might want to invest that money elsewhere. And I saw this beautiful example of someone saying some people are wasting your money, they're a debt, and then some people are an investment for you because they help you grow. There has to be a place and time for you to get to the answers of whether you're investing time in the people who are
Yeah.
just putting you more in debt or actually helping you grow.
And I don't want that to get misconstrued that you need to like act fast and make decisions like cut people off right away. Because that's
Yeah.
not always what it is. I think sometimes it is worth going on that another date if you're unsure or you have a little curiosity, but you don't know if they're the one yet because that next date could actually reveal more. So I think what we're trying to say here though is again, like it's back to what we were talking about earlier of like, is this step bringing me closer or taking an action versus keeping me stuck in like a spiral. And having that distinction too, like going on another date, that's an action. And
Yeah.
then thinking about things and not really knowing or asking your friends or, analyzing every situation, that is not moving anyone forward. It's just circular patterns.
So I know for me, I have this question. I'm sure many of you do too. What happens for a CEO when he's just undecided on an employee?
Mm,
He's just like, well, they're fine. They
yeah.
they haven't exactly hurt my business, but they haven't exactly helped me grow. I'm just like, I can go either way. A way to think about this is what can I do now to get to an answer that pushes this in either direction? Because most of the time when a CEO comes upon kind of a situation like this, it's because they keep putting this employee in the same situation. So they're going to turn out the same
Yeah.
result. What if you put them in a different capacity or a different environment? You probably get a different answer. So
Yeah.
maybe instead of the same dates that you've been going on, the same conversations, put them in an environment where, let's say, like it's your environment, you're in your element. It's not a test, it's purely for you to just get to some answers.
I like that a lot because I think the answer could just be like, do I see a different light at this person, whether it's positive or negative? And that can
Mhm.
give you a way to be like, okay, I do want to keep chasing this curiosity versus like, oh, I got my answer. This is not the right
Yeah.
person for me.
Yeah.
I think another big piece too that kind of corresponds to this is staying with the wrong people. Like, I
Mm.
think a lot of times, if I was to think about the biggest time wastes in my dating life, and some of this corresponds to like, the rumination and,
Mhm.
typically the wrong people are the people you're questioning the most. Usually the right people, you have your answers and you're moving forward. But I think sticking around for the maybe, especially if they're showing you a
Yes.
no, is a time waste. Like, I think if you're finding yourself making excuses for the red flags, like you already have the info, you already have the feedback.
And one way that I've had to turn my mindset around this is that in my old way, I used to think for every day that I spend with this person who's wrong for me is an extra day that I don't have to start over. Right? Like it's another day of me being safe in my bubble. But then I start asking myself, well, for each day I'm with the wrong person, it's taking a day away from the right person.
Yeah,
So the
100%.
earlier I get out, the earlier I can spend that time with the right person.
And again, this is a big distinction between the person you're just not sure about yet and giving them a little
Yeah.
extra time versus the person that is actually like in your mind a fantasy, right? Like this is the
Yeah.
dreamers out there could probably relate to this a lot, the situationship where you have this life that you're envisioning with this person or you want it to be a certain way, but none of the actions or words are aligning. And the reality isn't there. I think those are the ones when we know deep down, like this person is not right, but we just keep staying in it. It's sunk cost
Yeah.
fallacy, right? Like, I don't want to start over.
Yeah.
I've invested this much. I might as well just invest a little more and eventually they'll get there. It doesn't work like that in love and dating.
It never works like that at all. I still remember the guy I dated in New York, the one I was so into, who couldn't commit, told me from the beginning, I'm just not really looking for a serious relationship. And I kept staying in that thinking, oh, he's just not ready yet.
Yeah.
He'll see. He'll see how great I am for him and then he'll change his mind. As soon as I was able to cut off that relationship, I met someone who couldn't wait to be in a relationship with me.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh my gosh, I just been delaying this whole time, trying to convince someone who doesn't see me in this way.
Right.
Why did I waste all that time when I could have just gotten into a really beautiful relationship with someone who couldn't wait to commit to me? And I think when you're in a relationship where you're stuck with someone who's not right for you, you kind of think like there's probably no one better.
Yeah.
We have that scarcity mindset. This is probably the best I can get right now because I have real feelings for this person or there's immense chemistry. But we forget that the next person is 10 times more those feelings and who actually wants to be with you. That's the best case scenario.
It's hard because of the present bias, right? We see what's in front of us only. And
Yep.
even like, I don't know, when that person that you're like, I know this person's bad for me, but then you get that text from them and you're like, I know it'll be really fun if we meet up.
Yep.
It's hard to say no to that because the present self, that's going to be great for them. But the future self is either missing out on someone better or is like, that was actually not good for me. Now I'm like recovering from the heartbreak that comes from the like the low now that there was that high. So I think this notion of future self, it's hard to get behind because it's the future. It feels like a different person. But I love looking at like the history. And I think the
Yes.
past dictates the future as well. Like for me personally, and I'm sure a lot of people, like for you also, as your friend, I know this, but like each relationship builds on the next. Like
Yep.
I look back and I was like, oh, that person that I thought was like everything 10 years ago. I mean, since then, I've had like so much deeper and more connected and better experiences. And I think all of us can look back and see like how things build on each other. So while something might feel like the best you've ever had, it doesn't mean like it can't be better, especially if you're like, really, it's like there's signs that it's not so good.
Yeah. And then you want to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
And if you see yourself, like I love Matthew Hussey who says this, you're the most important baby you'll ever need to take care of in your life. Yes, you have kids and everything, but like you are the first and most important baby. If you saw yourself as this precious being that you really want to take care of and protect, would you allow something like this to happen to them? Probably not. And sometimes we truly abuse ourselves in these situations. We kind of like deprioritize our own needs, and it's time to bring that back up.
Well, I think with this one too, there's the time wasted of, being with the wrong person, right? Like you can't be with the right person if you're with the wrong person. So there's that element of time wasted. But then there's also like the energy suck of time wasted. I feel
Yeah.
like when you're in bad situations and you're wrapped up in it, you're probably neglecting other parts of life. Like you're not going to the gym as much, or you're not being present with your friends and like things that actually are good for you and your soul and happiness and wellness overall. So I think there's like two variables of like the future time, but also like the current time and just the energy overall that's getting sucked out.
Same energy theory can apply to events and environments that you're put into. And I know that as when you're single and people are telling you, say yes to everything, say yes to every
Yeah.
opportunity, which is true to a certain extent, you have to keep an open mind. but we know ourselves enough to know which environments bring us energy and which drain us. It took me a while to come to terms with that, but I know that groups of 6 or more really drain me, and I would need to be at a full battery to put myself in that kind of environment. 6 and under, I can manage my battery and I can get energized by that interaction. If you know yourself well enough, then you can be more discerning on what activities, events you can sign up for to understand the outcome of how your energy will be. And we have to stop pressuring ourselves when we're dating to be like, I have to say yes to everything. I have to take every opportunity, because that ultimately will drain you.
Yeah, I think this is one too. It's like, I don't want to forego an opportunity. So it feels like by saying no, it's cutting off a possibility. And
Yes.
we don't want to waste time. We want to get to that relationship fast. We don't want to like miss anything. But I think again, when you're always going to things that aren't authentic, like we heard everyone jumping on the run club train. And I feel like if you're there and you hate running, first of all, you're not going to meet someone if that's not like an authentic place for you. If you're like miserable the whole time, why are you even there to begin with? But also, it's like, is this actually like getting you to the place that you want to be ultimately? You're using a Saturday depleting your energy instead of increasing it. Of course, if you love running and you're all about running, go to that run club. That's like the perfect place for you. But don't just go because it's like on trend. I think that's where it's where I come down on run clubs more, because everyone's like, oh, it's this secret place I can meet people. And it's like, no, it's not. There is no secret place.
The secret is people want to go somewhere where there's a lot of single people, but it's not a singles event. That is the secret. And that's why run clubs were so massive, because, it's basically a singles event hidden behind an activity. So everybody feels less awkward about it.
But then it lost it because everyone's like, this is the way to meet people as a singles event. Yeah.
I still love the run club that I observed. I was like at the tail end of their run, and there were these 2 girls that were like, I can't wait for this to be fucking over so we can go to dinner. And in my head, I was like, why put yourself through this misery and just go to dinner? Just cut it. Like, go straight to dinner. That's obviously where you're going to enjoy your time even more.
Or let's say you like want to work out, go to a Pilates class where you feel good. Again, it can be anything, but if that's your jam, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you're not going to meet anyone there because like you're sitting on your reformer by yourself, and it's like usually all women if you're dating men. But anyways, like let's say you do that and then you go to dinner, you're probably going to be like way more energized and happy when you're out. So then maybe you could actually meet more people because you're bringing like a positive energy instead of being like, oh my God, I just spent the last hour doing something I hate. Now what state are you in?
Ooh, that's a good energy hack. Do something that fills your energy first, so your battery level is high, and then put yourself in a situation where you're going out. And no expectations of meeting anybody, but at least you are just a walking magnet now because you're full of vibrant energy.
I want to go into some other solutions now for people of like ways that they can continuously increase their energy and not waste time. But before we do, let's take a quick break to hear from our sponsors.
Has it ever felt like you're doing everything right, eating healthy, working out, but your energy still crashes? Where your mood swings hit out of nowhere? I know I have. What I've learned is that a lot of these issues are tied to changes in my hormones. That's where Happy Mammoth comes in. They offer a free 2-minute quiz that can help you uncover the root cause of your hormonal symptoms. It's super easy. Just answer a few questions, and you'll get a personalized recommendation to help support your hormones and start feeling better. From the hormone quiz, I learned that my estrogen rises and falls unevenly. So the solution is Hormone Harmony, which could help with bloating, anxiety, fatigue, overwhelm, and more. Ready to start feeling like yourself again? Head over to happymammoth.com and take their free 2-minute hormone quiz today to find the ultimate answer to your stubborn hormonal issues. And for a limited time, you can also get 15% off your entire first order with our code DATEABLE at checkout. That's happymammoth.com and use the code DATEABLE for 15% off today.
Anyone else so busy these days that it can be hard to find the time to shop, yet alone pick out a good outfit? That's where Armoire comes in. With a clothing rental membership, you can effortlessly turn heads with stylish, everyday looks tailored just for you. In the last couple months, we've done so many book events, and I don't know what I would have done without Armoire. It's been my literal lifesaver, where I can try all sorts of clothing and swap them out if they aren't the right fit, or if I just want different styles. What I love the most is trying new pieces I wouldn't necessarily want to commit to buying, like wide leg jeans or blazers. Sometimes it's been a no, but other times I've been pleasantly surprised, and I've loved expanding my style a bit with Armoire. Right now, our listeners can give Armoire a try and get up to 50% off their first month. That's up to $125 off. Just visit armoire.style/dateable. That's armoire.style, ARMOIRE.style/dateable to get up to 50% off your first month and never worry about what to wear again. Try Armoire today. I think the one thing that I did the last time I was dating and wish I did earlier was notice consistent actions and words, because I think that helps you really get rid of the wrong people faster and then reinvest your time and energy into the right ones. Like, I feel like there were so many times that someone would like cancel a plan or say that they're like ready for a relationship, but like not show any signs of it. And I took that at like face value instead of being like, oh, I'll just justify it. Maybe they're busy. We'll see what happens, and like stuck around. I think that to me was like huge because it was allowing me to make informed decisions. It wasn't just saying like, oh, should I keep going? Should I not? I'm like, well, what they said and what they did was totally different. This is concerning. And either it's like enough info to be like, nope, or it's enough info to be like, let me ask them about that a little more.
I think not staying present on a date is a big time waste. And I think so many of us are somewhere else. We're on these dates. We're choosing and picking what we want to hear. And then we're choosing and picking where our mind goes. And it's always like, oh, what do we want to talk about next? I wonder if there's going to be a next date. I wonder if this person likes me. If we were actually present on these dates, then we probably hear the real answers. There's no need to overanalyze. Like, people tell you exactly what is on their mind. And I wish like some of those earlier dating experiences I had that I just stayed present and listened. Otherwise, I wasted all this time after the date trying to remember, oh, did he say that? Or did I make that up? So yeah, let's be more present.
I mean, not only can you hear what they're saying, but I also think it's a waste of time if you're not present, because you're not showing up as your best self.
Right.
Like, if you're always thinking of like what the next thing to say or questioning if this person likes you and have all these thoughts going in your mind, you're not going to be a good date. You're not going to be someone that the person wants to see again. And you might as well not have gone. Like, I always give this example of like when I was in this mindset of I'm not even going to put this person's name in my phone because I know I'll probably never see them again. Why even go to the date at that point? Like, if that's what you're going into with that energy, it's a waste of time at that point. Of course, you can use that same time and have a different mindset, and then it becomes very fruitful use of time.
Yes, absolutely. And also staying in ambiguity when you want black and white is a waste of time. Staying in the unknown and staying in the this could be, or this is a situationship or friends with benefit, but I'm looking for a real relationship. That's a fucking waste of time because it is just taking up all that space for the right person to come along. Sorry, they can't come in because there's already someone in place.
I think that's why it's so important to have that dating North Star that we go through in How to Be Dateable, our book. And it's coming up with what is your dating why and what are your core needs in dating and relationships, and then staying true to having this vision that you're looking for and knowing what your intention is. And even beyond an intention, what does it feel like and what does it look like to you? I think without that, it's like you're hiking without a map. And of course you're going to get lost. You need that North Star. You need that vision. And that's when you can see, like, is this someone that aligns with me? And that doesn't mean like you have every part of your life planned out. But if you have no vision of what you're looking for, like you're just going to have like all sorts of people in your cobwebs. I feel like the second I got like clear of like, I do want a real relationship. I want a partner. I don't want just like someone that's half in. I want someone that prioritizes me. I could quickly see when someone was half in or they weren't prioritizing me and be like, yeah, it's time for them to go. It's time for me to remove myself from the situation.
Seriously, if there's one action for anybody to take away from this conversation, first thing to do after you're done with this episode, go find clarity, go
Yeah,
find your vision, go craft it. Understand why you're dating in the first place. Understand what does an ideal relationship feel like for you in your body, in your mind? What is this future you want to build with someone? Really get crystal clear about your vision before you put yourself out there in the wild. Otherwise, everything's just going to stick. Everything's going to
right.
make you confused. And then everything's going to feel like a rejection because there's going to be so many things that are not right for you. But if you know your clear vision, then you know what is getting in your way. You just clear that out of your path.
I feel like when I didn't have a clear vision, that's when I stayed in things too long.
Yeah.
Or I kept like giving people chances or ruminating with my friends or all the things that are time wasters. And like that time, like I always point to this example of that person like right before my partner that like could not prioritize even meeting up for an hour. And
Yeah.
it's like, I could have in the past, the old me would have hung on to it still because we had that good banter, we had that connection. And I wouldn't have seen what was crystal clear in the moment that
Right.
I wanted someone that could prioritize a relationship. And this person was basically saying, I can't even devote an hour to you. How is that
Right.
prioritizing a relationship? The old me would have hung around for weeks. Eventually, maybe they
Yes.
would have been the one to ghost or like end it. The new me was like, this isn't what I want. And I'm going to let them
Mhm.
know. And no hard feelings. Like, it's not a big deal. We just revealed early, failed fast, like the fail fast mentality. We learned early it was not a good match or we're not ultimately aligned. I was able to let that person go. And then, like, a month later, I met my partner. And it was like crystal clear from that we were aligned.
I really love that example every time you give it because it makes this so simple. It
Yeah.
is like the goal for us is to simplify the dating process for you all because it feels very convoluted and complex. This world, this dating culture is extremely layered on so many levels. So when you're clear and simple in what
Mhm.
you're looking for, then your decision making becomes clearer and simpler, but it does take the time for you to get clear on what it is that you're looking for. And I realized that every relationship I've ever been in, except for my current one, I fell into these relationships
Mhm.
without a clear vision, without clear intentions. It was just like, oh, we like each other. Oh, now
Yeah.
we're hanging out a lot. Now we're
Yeah.
seeing each other every weekend. Now we're in a relationship. There was never a moment where either party sat back and said, what are we trying to create here? What are we doing together? Why did the universe bring us together? Right? What is our purpose? But before this current relationship, I went through that massive breakup and then I went on that solo trip to Greece. When I was on that solo trip, I actually sat down and asked myself, what is a future vision of a relationship that I actually want to be in? Wow, never asked myself that question before. And it was so fun to come up with this vision because I realized, oh, I need someone who can really lean in to these challenges. I need someone who supports my growth. I need someone to celebrate me like I'm a fucking miracle. Like, wow, that is cool to come up with these concepts. And then when I came back to the real world after my solo trip, my now relationship really just appeared for me because it was like, oh, the universe said, oh, I hear you loud and
Yeah.
clear now. You want this? Hey, have you met?
Also,
Have you
someone that's been
re-met?
in your life that you probably would have
Yes.
overlooked had you not been clear about it.
Who also went through the same exercise of asking himself the same thing. And it was just so wild that the clouds lifted And the universe was like, here, you two. I hear your vision and I hear your vision out loud, and they're pretty much aligned. So, yeah, go make something happen. And that's what happened.
I think when you have your vision too, it allows you to ask the meaningful questions to see if someone is aligned. And that's not to be like, I'm going to pepper them with data review questions, but we also can't be afraid to get answers. Again, get back to the answers. Like if someone has no intention of ever being in a partnership, or let's say you want to have children and start a family, if someone has no intention of that, wouldn't you rather find that out sooner than to
Yes.
continue to invest in people that are just not aligned with you at all? Like we got this question at one of our events, like when is too early to like bring up that you're looking for a long-term committed partnership? I don't think it's too early to do it from on like a first date. I think actually it's a
No.
better time because the pressure isn't like between you and them being in a relationship. It's just stating, this is what I'm looking for. And if
Yeah.
someone is like, that is not what I'm looking for, I'd rather them opt out at that point, if that's it. Like you don't have to decide that you two are going to be in that committed relationship together on the first date. But if both people are just like, or one of the people is like, no way in hell, like I would rather like end it then. And then you could find the person that's like, yeah, I'm also looking for that. Let's see if it could be us.
I know so many people listening to this right now are just like they have a stomach ache, because I know so many people are thinking I wouldn't dare to ask these questions or to talk about this on dates. I don't want to scare someone away. I don't want to someone to think I'm getting ahead of myself. You know, there's so much fear around stating what you want. But if you're feeling this way, it means the person you're on a date with also feels this way. So basically, all these people are dating, hiding their needs because they're so afraid to voice it, going home with stomach aches, being like, I don't know if this person's aligned with what I'm looking for. So isn't it better that you stop wasting your time and just state what it is that you're looking for? And yes, it could be kids, it could be future, it could be marriage. It could also just be like, what does a great relationship look like to you? We don't
Yeah.
ever ask these questions. And you know what? When someone's ready to have this conversation, you know that this is a great potential partner. I will also guarantee you, most people aren't ready to have that conversation. And great. Now you know. Doesn't need to be a next date. They're not ready to lean into that yet.
And scare them away. Scare away the wrong people. It's so much better, again, to scare away people that are not aligned. And if you said too much, I hate that. Like, am I doing too much?
Yeah.
It's like if you're staying true to yourself and saying something that's important, it's never going to be too much for the right person. Again, let's learn earlier that this person is not going to meet us. And by having what your intention is and what your vision is, that allows you to quickly be able to see that.
Quickly in the right way. Quickly to get to answers, quickly to get to what your vision is. It's not a quickly to rule people out or to judge them or to find the icks and the red flags. It is quickly for
Right.
you to get to your answers that you need.
I think that is a really good distinction too of like because people do want to say like, I don't want to waste my time. I want to get rid of the wrong people. But like, what are we judging that criteria on? I think
Yeah.
right now it's all about like superficial things like, oh, they wore a weird belt, red
Yeah.
flag. And it's like, is
Yeah.
that a red flag? No, it's not a red flag. It's just a choice. And is that really going to make or break your relationship? Maybe if that is for you, it's probably something deeper than just the belt. But like, I think if we can get on the same page of like what actually is important, and I would say the same page as in like
Mhm.
with ourselves, like when we really know what those non-negotiables are for us, what are those true relationship deal breakers? Like for me, I got to the point like if someone is indecisive, if they
Mhm.
want to be in a relationship, then I don't want to be part of that anymore. That's a deal
Yes.
breaker.
Yes.
Because my past, I'd been with a lot of indecisive people that kept me around, but like
Yes.
it didn't really go anywhere and I was done with it. And I think for that, I would rather someone be able to acknowledge when someone's not in the same place and cut them out faster. Because the truth is, when we do develop feelings and emotions to someone, it becomes harder and harder to cut them out. So if we can identify early on that they are just like not in the same page as us at all, it actually saves a ton of time because you're one, allowing yourself to find someone more aligned, but also you don't have
Mhm.
to like untangle all the feelings that came from it.
It just simplifies the process. That's all we want. It's just peace and simplicity. You want someone to bring both of those feelings for you. And in this example of just like, let's just simplify how we determine if someone's right for us or not. And I really think being judgmental and looking for the icks and the red flags is a symptom of someone who lacks clarity. So they're
Yeah,
holding on to
agree.
something they think is tangible. I will tell you, I used to have this red flag of people who chewed with their mouth open. I'd be like, ew, he chewed with his mouth open on the first date. Done. Don't want to see him again. My current man friend chews with his mouth open sometimes. Does it annoy me? Yes. Was it a red flag or a deal breaker? No, because he was so aligned with our vision for our relationship. It superseded my little things that are these things that annoy me because it's just so little, puts things in perspective. Him making a noise when he chews, when he eats food, is way less important than the way he loves me and treats me.
I think also on the flip side of every annoyance is something beautiful. As
Yes,
someone
sir.
that sometimes does that myself, I think what the good part is that you are so, excited to be there with someone and in the moment and talking to them and joyful that sometimes you do chew with your mouth open because, you're like, I don't know. I just feel like there's like a cultural piece. Like I look at like different, I don't know, this is like off tangent a little, but like I feel like more formal cultures like will be very proper and make sure they don't
Hmm.
chew with their mouth open. And of course there's merit to that, but a lot of times there's a stiffness that comes with that. And then
Mm.
cultures that are a little more jovial and like see food and being together as like a bonding time, maybe that will happen more just because it's like people aren't thinking about like what etiquette should I have. So I'm just saying it as an example of like any little annoyance or ick, there's usually a positive that corresponds with that if you choose to see it.
I was going to say the positive for me is that I become a much more tolerant person. So it's
I mean,
trained
on
me
the
in that
other
way.
person though.
Yes, yes. I get it. I get what you're saying there. There you go. I mean, I think you can nitpick anybody if you wanted to. There is a fault on everybody. Like the most perfect person to you in your life right now, there's going to be something that you can nitpick out of. But if they're just aligned with you on your goals, your vision, your values, then none of that really matters. It just becomes this daily little thing that like really doesn't move the needle for anybody.
I mean, I think the biggest hack still is checking in with your body. Like when I think about that situation I talked about earlier of that guy that just like wasn't available to even meet up for an hour. We had Connor Beaton on our podcast. He's like a men's coach and we have him quoted in our book too, because what he said just stuck with me so much. I remember the topic was on emotional availability, which is something that is
Mhm.
core to so many of us. And of course I was like, ooh, perfect timing. I'm going to ask this men's expert if this is a sign that this guy isn't emotionally available. And I remember I had this question, I gave it to him. He's like, let's turn it on to you. How do
Yep.
you feel with this person? Where is that feeling? Like, and I was like, there's this feeling like a gut punch that I'm getting thinking about this. He's like, think about that. Like it doesn't matter
Yeah.
if they're emotionally available or any of the buzzwords. It's more important that you're not feeling good at this situation. And that's grounds to be like, is this right for me? Probably not. Or again, an opportunity to talk to someone, and which I did. And I was met with, I'm too busy. So again,
Yeah.
more proof, right? That this
Yeah.
is like not the right person. And I think paying attention to how you feel, whether it's with a person or an event, say you're going to all these events trying to meet people and you're just like, I feel so depleted after this.
Uh-huh.
Don't keep going. Find something that energizes you and find the people that make you feel good ultimately.
Simple.
Okay.
Keep it simple.
Listen to your body, ask the questions. Anytime you're in rumination, how do you get to action? Those are the key takeaways.
From rumination to action. I
Yeah,
like that. Put that
absolutely.
on a tattoo.
And How to be dateable. Put that on a tattoo as well.
Yeah,
Under
yes.
it.
Well, check out the website first, see if you like the logo, and then you can put it on your tattoo. But yeah, howtobedateable.com. You can find everything about our book. And if you haven't taken the dating archetype quiz yet, that's a great way to start on your clarity journey of what you're looking
Yeah.
for. Get to know your archetype first. And if you do know what your archetype is, and you've taken the quiz, why don't you give us a rating and review in Apple Podcasts or on Spotify? Let us know what archetype or archetypes you are and how that's helped you shape your dating life today. Maybe something new that you're trying. So you can give us 5 stars in Apple Podcasts or on Spotify. You can actually just leave a comment in this episode.
I love when anyone starts anything in the Facebook group too, as a
Mm.
dreamer. And I'm always
Yeah.
like, yep, love it.
Yep. Yeah, they took the
Reading the
quiz.
lingo. Yeah, and I actually saw in general too, when we get comments, someone wrote, actually, we have questions that we ask people like
Yeah.
before they join the groups. One of them is like, what does being dateable mean to you?
Yeah.
And they answered with having a dating North Star. And I was like, love it.
Bravo.
Well, I'm so glad that we were able to unpack this. I think it's such an important part of dating to not waste time and to keep our energy levels high and at full capacity.
All right. We're going to wrap up this episode.
Stay dateable.